Hello, hello. We're going to be doing composite figures now. So what are composite figures? Before you get into the notes, composite figures are just figures made up of two or more shapes, pretty much. So since now you should know all the formulas for your shapes, your basic shapes, rectangles, squares, parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids, circles, even half circles and quarter circles. Now we're going to combine them all and find areas of composite figures, okay? So go ahead and press pause. You can copy up to there, okay? I'll show the bottom one a little bit, and then press play when you're ready, okay? All right, so composite figures, like I said, it's a figure made up of two or more shapes, okay? And of course, they're gonna be shapes that we know the formulas for. So that's one of the most important things there. We know the formula for these. Now, how to solve them? You're gonna find the area of each shape that is given, okay? I'm gonna show you some examples here. And then we're gonna either add or subtract the areas depending on what the picture looks like and what they're asking for, okay? So if you drew this formula first, drew this shape first, you'll notice that it is a, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-sided figure, which means it is a pentagon, okay? So this is a composite figure because if you take a look at this pentagon, I have a triangle on top and I have a rectangle maybe or a square at the bottom, okay? I have a parallelogram at the bottom. So to figure out what the area is of the pentagon, I have to find the area of the triangle, the area of the parallelogram, and then add them together, because when I add them together, they create the pentagon. That's when I'm adding, okay? So let me show you how to get this done, okay? You need to make sure you have your formula chart. Let me get my formula chart here. And yours is in the, if you take a look at yours is going to be on the math resource page, and that's where you'll get it, okay? But it'll also be at the top of your tests, okay? So this is how I solve them, all right? First thing I do is I'm going to show you a table that I use. I'm gonna go ahead and see, I see two shapes. So I'm gonna put shape 1 and shape 2, okay? So I'm just making myself a little table. And it's mainly for organization, okay? It is for organization, is what it is, okay? We want to be organized, all right? Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name, here's my first little row right here. I am going to name my shapes that I see, okay? And I do this because I want to make sure I get the correct formula. So I see a triangle. So I'm going to put, I see a triangle. And then over here, it's a 9 by 8. So I know it's not a square. So I'm going to put rectangle. But if you put parallelogram, that's fine. So I know this is a rectangle. Okay. And that's just so I know exactly what two shapes I'm dealing with, but more importantly, which two formulas I'm dealing with. Okay. So after this, I'm going to go ahead and write the formula for each of these shapes. So here's my next row. Okay. So the formula for a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. And for a rectangle, it's just base times height. Okay. Now that I have those written down, from here on out, I'm just going to work on shape number 1 first, finish it off, and then I'll do shape number 2 because I don't want to get my numbers confused. Okay. So from here on out, I'm just going to plug in my values. So I'm going to go plug in values. Okay. And this will take up 2 lines. And it's going to take up 2 lines because of our triangle. All right. So here, area equals 1/2. Now let me take a look at my triangle. So I'm going to highlight it for you here. There's the base of the triangle. And it looks like the height is going to be that right there. But guess what, guys? There's no number there. So we got to do some math here. We got to figure it out. Use our brains, okay? So this is the base. There's no number there. But if I look directly parallel to that, there's a 9, and opposite sides are parallel. So this one's 9, The base of this is also 9 feet. So the base is 9. Okay, so far I got that down. Now I got to figure out this height. Well, let's see. They gave me 8 feet is from the bottom to the top of the rectangle. Then they gave me this 12. Let's see what the 12 stands for. The 12 stands for the bottom of the parallelogram, or rectangle, to the tip of the triangle. So it's this entire thing right here. To figure out the height, well, I know from here to here is 8. I got to figure out what's left over here to get that 12. So you have to subtract these two, okay? I know the whole thing is 12. I don't need this chunk here. I need that little part. And I know this part is 8. So that's how you get this. We're going to do 12 minus 8. And that gives you 4. So the height times 4. Okay? That's what I did there. So you got to think. You got to use your visualization here, okay? So let's go ahead and work this out. I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 9 times 4 is 36. So 1/2 times 36. And then don't forget, we're going to find the area right here. Oops, maybe my red pen. And so then the area will be my last column, my last row here. And so the area 1/2 of 36, that means 36 divided by 2 would give you 18. Okay, so this one is 18 feet squared. Okay, and now let's find the last one. We'll do the rectangle now. So the rectangle, let me highlight that in a different color here. So here's my rectangle. Okay. And the rectangle is just base times height. So the base here is 9. So there's my nice little right angle here. My base is 9. My height is 8. It's not the 12. I don't want the triangle included. I just need the top of the rectangle. So it's from here to here, which is an 8. Okay. So area equals 9 times 8. And 9 times 8 gives me, let me see, I used purple. 9 times 8 is 72. So here the area equals 72. Area equals 72 feet squared. Now all I have to do is add them together. So to find the total area, so I'm going to put over here total area, it equals 72 plus 18. So 18 plus 72. Gives you 90 feet squared. Okay. So total area is 90 feet squared. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I should highlight that. Let me highlight that for you. So here's my answer. Okay. 90 feet squared. All right. I put my 0 too far away. So again, composite figures. Find the shapes that create the figure. So here I saw a rectangle and a triangle. I go ahead and do this little table here. You don't have to write the table, just as long as you know that you're finding the area of the triangle. Then find the area of the rectangle and add them together, and that's how you get the area of that pentagon. Okay, that's how you find the area of any polygon, really. Okay, see what shapes are in there, what makes it up. Find the base and the height, put it in the correct formula, and you got it. Okay. All right. Now for the next one. Go ahead and press pause if you need to, and copy example 2 down. Don't worry about 3 yet. We want to make sure you have enough space here, so don't worry about 3. Copy number 2 down, and then press play when you're ready. Okay. So here again, find the area of the shaded region. Word of advice, if they say shaded region, you're not going to be adding, you're taking away, you're subtracting. And if you can tell a difference between the two. Here I have a rectangle and I added a triangle on top. Here I have a rectangle, and I put a rectangle inside, okay? And I forgot to put the numbers. So let's go ahead and put some numbers. Let's make up some numbers. Let's see. Let's make this over here 20 meters, okay? We'll make this one in here 16 meters. All right, that's this one right here. And then the base here, let's do 18 meters. And then here, 10 meters. I'll do it up here, 10 meters. Okay, so go ahead and copy the numbers down since I forgot. So we have 20 meters, 16, 10, and 18, okay? Now, unlike the top one, I'm not adding another rectangle to make it bigger. I'm actually cutting a rectangle inside, or a rectangle is taking up space inside the bigger rectangle, okay? So this is a case that you're going to be subtracting the areas, all right? Because I'm not adding them together to make something bigger. I'm actually taking one out, okay? Because I just want the shaded part. So we're gonna still do it the same way, all right? So we take a look here. I'm going to use this table, but I'm not going to write it down anymore. I'm just going to show you, okay, that we have to make this. So I have shape 1, okay, is the bigger one. So it is going to be, I'm just going to put big rectangle, okay, and then little rectangle, okay, so just like that, and down. All right, so there's the name. I put the names. Next up is my formula. Now, luckily they're rectangles, okay? So I know that formula by heart. It's base times height, or if you're using it from elementary, you can still use length times width, okay? But we need to get y'all used to base times height, all right? But they mean the same thing. So formula's done. Now we're going to plug in the values. So let's take a look at the big guy, all right? I'll put the big guy in pink. So I'm going to outline the outside here in pink. That's the numbers I'm looking at. So we notice I did not hit the 10 or the 16, okay? Did not hit those two. The two numbers I hit were the 20 and the 18. So this is the base of the rectangle, and this is the height of the big guy, okay? Remember, they're always perpendicular to each other. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the math. Let's do the values. 20 times 18 is 360 meters squared. Awesome. Okay, I found the area. Now let's go on to the little rectangle. Now make him green. Okay. I always like to highlight the shapes I'm talking about because those are the numbers I'm going to deal with. Now, if you notice, as I outlined this in green, I hit a 10 and I touched a 16. Those are the two numbers I'm using. I'm not touching the 20, I'm not touching the 18, okay? So let's plug those two numbers in. The base is 10 and the height is 16. So it's a 10 times 16, a 10 by 16. And that gives me 160 meters squared, okay? Now, from here, to find the shaded area, we're going to subtract, okay? So it's going to be 300. Oh, I shouldn't have put that line all the way down. That's why whiteout was invented. Okay. That's about, okay. So I'm going to take the 360. I'm going to subtract that 160, okay? Because the 360 is, the 360 is everything, okay? I want to subtract out this part that is not shaded, and that's the little guy, little rectangle, okay? I'm going to go ahead and subtract that. So the shaded area equals 200 meters squared. 200 meters squared. Okay? All right, so that's what happened when you subtract, okay? Now let's copy down this last one. I'll tell you right now, They love these shapes. So draw it. That says 10 centimeters and 8 centimeters. So press pause and then press play when you're ready. Okay. All right. So they love this shape. Why? Because you have a semicircle and a triangle and they both make you divide. And they know you forget to divide. So that's why I like them. All right. So just like before, with my table that I make, I'm going to go ahead and name them. So I do see a semicircle. I'm going to remind myself this is half a whole circle and a triangle. Okay. And then next I go ahead and name them. Okay. So this one is I already named them. Next is the formulas. So area equals pi times the radius squared divided by 2, because it is not a full circle, it is half a circle. Okay. And then for the triangle, area equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, base times height. All right, let's start with that semicircle. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the numbers. Okay, so plugging in the numbers, let's start with the semicircle. I remember from before, this is the diameter. Okay, so this is the diameter. But I need the radius. Okay, and the radius is only this much of it. Okay, so remember how to find the radius? The radius equals your diameter, which is 10, divided by 2, which gives me 5. So that's going to let me go ahead and plug in the correct numbers now. Pi, 3 and 1400ths, 3.14, times the radius is 5. That's going to be squared, and then divided by 2, because it is a semicircle, it's half a circle. Now we're going to go ahead and do the math. Exponents go first because of order of operations. So 5 squared means 5 times 5, which is 25, divided by 2. Okay. Then let's go ahead and multiply 3.14 times 25. Get my calculator here, make sure I get the numbers right. 78 5/10. And then divided by 2, because it is half of a circle. Okay. So I'm going to cut that in half, divided by 2, and I should get 39 and 2500ths. Yeah. And we are in centimeters, so centimeters squared. All right. So that is the semicircle. Now let's go on to the triangle. Okay. So, I forgot to highlight for y'all. All right. So the semicircle is going to be in pink. There we go. And then my triangle, I'll put it in green. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay. So area, there we go, equals 1/2. Now look for your height. Remember the H makes that perfect little H here. Here it is. There's that little H. So the base is going to be here. That's 10. And the height is that dotted line. It's perpendicular to the base. That's 8. So you should get A equals 1/2 times 10 times 8. Okay. And now let's go ahead and do the math. Now you can go ahead and divide 10 by 2 if you want, or multiply 10 times 8. It's up to you. We're going to get the same answers. But I'll go ahead and multiply because most students like to just multiply first. So 10 times 8 is 80. And then lastly, you're going to just go ahead and divide by 2. So half of 80, or 80 divided by 2, gives you 40 centimeters squared. And now to find my total area, we're going to add, because I added a semicircle on top of a triangle. I don't have a shape inside another shape. If a shape is inside another shape, you're subtracting. Here, I don't. So I'm just going to add. Okay. So we're going to add 39 and 25 hundredths plus 40. And that gives you a total area of 79 and 25 hundredths centimeters squared. Now, how did I get that? I lined up my decimals, 39 and 25 hundredths. 40 is a whole number, so it should be 40.00. And that's how you get 79 and 25 hundredths. Okay, good. So copy that down if you haven't yet. And now we're going to go ahead and try it out, okay? So let me get you to try it out page. I only gave you one shape, okay? So go ahead and find the area of the two shapes that create this pentagon, and then press play when you're ready to see the answers, okay? All right. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and name them. I see a triangle, and I see a rectangle. Okay, so did you identify them correctly? Triangle and rectangle. All right, let's see if you write the correct formula down. Triangle is 1/2 base times height, and a rectangle is just base times height. So hopefully now you're so far so good. You're doing good. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my triangle. So I'm working on the triangle part, okay? I'll make the triangle pink. And these are the numbers I'm looking at. So I don't want to get confused. So you should have noticed the base is here, okay, because it's perpendicular to the dotted line, the height. And opposite sides are equal, so this has to be 15 meters as well. So the base is 15, and the height, well, here's my h, it's 5. So multiplied 15 times 5, 75. And then 75 divided by 2 gives you 37.5 meters squared. Okay. Did y'all get 37.5 meters squared for the triangle? Okay. Check your multiplication. If not, make sure you divided. That's the main thing where I see students getting it wrong is they forgot to divide by 2. So if you left it at 75, you forgot to divide by 2. Okay. All right. Next one. Let's do the rectangle. Rectangle, I'll put in yellow. So here are the numbers I need for the rectangle. Here's my shape. And let me go ahead and plug in my numbers, okay? I just need the base and height. So the base is 15, and the height, it is 9 meters tall, so times 9. So on this one, I just have to do 15 times 9. So 9 times 5 is 45, and that's 135 meters squared. Okay? Now, since you have the rectangle and you added a triangle on top, I just have to add the two areas. So to find the total area, you're going to take 135. And notice I have one decimal point in the other one, so I'm going to put 0.0. So I make sure everything is lined up, and we're going to add them together. That's 12, 7, and 1. So 172.5 meters squared is the total area of this. Now, when would this be important? If I want to paint the side of my house, that would be important, right? Okay. So I want to make sure I have enough paint to cover it. That way I don't bite too much or not enough. All right. So you should have got 172.5 meters. Let me double check with my calculator. I want to make sure I did get the numbers right. 5 plus 37.5. And I did. Perfect. Okay. All right. If you have any questions on composite figures, come to the Google Meet, guys, and ask. Don't be afraid to ask me. That's what I'm here for. Okay. But again, you have to know your shapes, how to name them correctly. And you have to know your formulas. Okay. All right, guys. Until next time, I will see y'all. Have a great day. Bye.